Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Geneset Rising. I'm your host, Pep. Oh no, I hear myself. That is
Inception.
Brent.
Oh my goodness.
It was pretty epic.
Okay, someone stop the spell on my mind. I can focus again. All right. Can we get a flag? Can we just redo that?
Rewind.
Rewind.
Apparently, I was using the wrong microphone.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Geneset Rising. I'm your host, your DM, Pep, and I'm here with my lovely players. We've got Bernier as Goop Daddy, Shai as Tessella, Robert as Borbo, Brent as Rowan, and Larissa as Ika. So say hi, everyone. Hello.
Howdy.
So last time we introduced Tessella, I have to remind myself not to say Tesla. And she's playing the Firefly Spriteling with a big, bright badonkadonk from Geneset. And she was tasked by her mentor, Nan, to fly over to Bakal Yal Fortress out at sea. As she was flying there, she encountered a very strange and suspicious, sweaty old man fishing in a boat who warned her about the sea before making the rest of the way there with a fish in tow. Meanwhile, the others were arriving to the fortress, and they started crossing the Great Divide, a big split parting in the sea that the fortress helps to fill in the divide, and the ship is currently sailing across it. And that's where we are going to pick up, with the big frog barge landing on the deck of the ship, and Captain Baltimore Clipper going up and welcoming him aboard and speaking with him somewhat, in hushed tones. You can't really tell what they're talking about. So all of you are there on the deck. There are a few Genementals that have come up from the water onto the deck to kind of examine all of you. Goop Daddy, you spoke with one of the seagull-looking Genementals, yes. And they give you a little salt crystal. And if you'd like, well, this is for you to know, there's in this document, I can send it to you as well. There are rules for this little salt crystal, so you can actually use it. It's like a magic item.
Yeah, send it to me.
All right, beautiful.
No.
No, you don't want it.
Of course.
All right. So I'm going to send that your way. Bernier.
That's me.
Is there any other information we should remember from last session? Like, how did the salt crystal get exchanged? Did you just ask for it, or did they kind of just give to him?
Yeah, he. Bernier, do you remember?
I definitely didn't ask for it. I think I was like commenting on his armor. Did I not? Yeah.
So they're kind of wearing this like tribalistic armor made of salt crystals. They even have some just like adorning them, just kind of hanging off them, off chains and things like that. And he was curious about it, and this seagull gave you one.
You totally didn't rizz him up for it.
Definitely not.
A little bit, maybe a little bit. Cool. I like this.
Yeah. Well, it's a simple little item. Yeah. And so all of you are on the deck. Most of the crew is up here on the deck, and so are all of the guests. And you're all just sort of waiting for Captain Clipper to finish talking with the large frogman. And actually, I will throw up a little picture here of the frogman himself. He's got a chest of stone. There's like this layer of crust and rock sort of covering his big belly. And he's got a billowing sort of cloud of cool air resting on his shoulders.
That looks so awesome.
So the two of them are just chatting. What are you guys doing as you're waiting?
I like Borbo to walk up to kind of like not intrude in their conversation, but when they're done, kind of introduce myself to Barge, I believe, the big chonker.
Mhm. Yeah, so currently on board, like you and Barge are the largest people aboard. Barge is a little bit shorter than you, but it's a little bit strange, I guess, seeing somebody else pretty much of your stature. So you start to approach, and the captain and Barge, they kind of like both like turn to look at you.
I look to Barge and I say, do frogs drink milk? How are you so tall?
Yes, I do enjoy milk from time to time.
And he rubs his big belly, kind of slaps it a bit. But you see, he kind of just like nods at you and looks back to the captain and goes,
We will pull the net the rest of the way, so just sit tight, Captain, and keep an eye on your ship. I will head back to the fortress.
and he goes, it was nice to see you again, Barge. Do take care of yourself.
Yes, and you should come by for some hunting again. It was quite lovely last time.
And he kind of squats down on his little legs all the way down until like his butt is touching the floor. And he rockets up hundreds of feet across the divide over to one of the ships that make up the fortress.
Burble's in love.
I'd like to climb up to the crow's nest to see how this all looks from the top.
Sure.
Bird's eye view.
You have no problem climbing up. And you have a boon, actually, Larissa. So just keep that in
boon.
mind for if you have to do another, if you have to make a roll.
Oh, thank you, Slushy Puffs.
Yeah, so you climb up to the top. I'll even say that like you were making your way up as Borbo was walking up to the bow of the ship, and you get a glimpse of this frogman kind of leaping across the divide. You guys are about halfway. There's a little diagram here just showing that like the ship is sort of sailing across. It's like this bridge made of water that crosses. And I will describe the fortress again for you. Essentially, it's made up of two massive ships, far larger than the ship that you're currently on. And as you're kind of peering at it, go ahead and make me a perception check to see what you can make out of it.
Oh, Nelly. That man had legs. 11 plus. That's the wrong tab. 15.
15. Okay. You see that the ships are, they're not made of wood. They're made of some sort of like orange brownish material. Kind of looks like dried clay. And you see that the masts themselves are these huge trunks from these massive trees. And the canopies of said trees are made of clouds. And that you can kind of see the faint glow of light at the top of each of these clouds, like there are big billowing flames above them. So these they look very organic.
Beauty.
Are you gonna stay up on the crow's nest?
Yeah, I wanna see the ship cross from up here.
Okay. Yeah. So you ship sailing slowly across.
I'll say hi to the crow guy up here too. Howdy.
Oh, last session actually he took off once you guys started crossing the divide. He just flew off.
Oh, I'll just do a little part-time work then.
The captain said he was a wind and water Genemental, I think he said, something like that.
I don't think he had specified.
Oh, okay.
I thought he said he wasn't a Genemental. I thought he said he did it without Genementaling.
Yeah, the captain himself is not a Genemental.
No, yeah. But somebody said that the bird was a Genemental.
Yeah, I think you were able to gauge that much. But what his core is constructed of, you do not yet know.
That I don't know. Okay, fair enough. So Trevor Boom is just at the he'll be at the prow of the ship, and he'll be
Mhm.
just tapping his little goop tam tam, singing a little song. I remember black skies, the lightning all around me. Just singing New Divide as we cross into the divide.
Sort of like vibrating a little as you sing. And at this moment, though, Ika, from up on the crow's nest, you notice that the ship is actually slowing down.
Our ship or those fortresses?
No, those ships have kind of like moved forward slightly to pull the big net that is forming this bridge.
Mhm.
But they're pretty much stationary. Your ship crossing the divide, though, has kind of just stopped at the center.
In the
Mm.
center.
Yeah.
So there's nothing all around us.
Well, you're on the bridge that's made of water that's crossing
Oh.
the divide. But it is suddenly stops, and when you notice this, the captain kind of like goes up to the helm. You can see that he's noticed as well.
Could Warble go to the back of the ship and look to see if there's anything like? He basically wants to inspect like the base of the ship,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
the rudder and stuff. That section, I believe that ships have rudders, but yeah, is anything that's like looks suspicious? Can I roll something for it?
For sure. You can make a perception or an investigation as you make your way down to where the rudder is, and there's a little diagram here of the ship and its levels. And there's even what's not drawn here is kind of like a walkway that goes sort of around, in particular the prow of the ship.
I got a 2.
Sick.
You got two.
I don't
Okay.
even finish that sentence. It's just Warble sees wood.
Yeah. So you kind of make your way down there. You take a look at the rudder.
Whoa,
you
can
look
I give
over-
Borbo the help action? I'm just like, oh, Borbo, it's actually over on this side.
Like I was looking at the side of the ship for the rudder. That's what the 2 gave me.
Hmm.
I'm like, where
Sure.
is it?
Yeah. So you can roll again with advantage, thanks to Rowan.
Oh, awesome.
Suddenly, Borbo realizes he's never looked at the ship he's been on in his life.
I got 14. All right.
A 14. Okay. Yeah. So you look down out into the water and at the rudder. I mean, you're effectively going straight. Even the sails, you can tell, are filled with wind. But the ship itself has just sort of stopped. But there's still this kind of current that you notice around the ship. So something, the water is sort of, there's some sort of current that is keeping the ship in place.
Would Borble dive actually? He looked to dive and like have some type of rope to get back up easier. Like it's kind of what he's good at. So I think he would. That's the first thing he would do. He's not really a thinking kind of pig.
Okay.
He's a swimming pig, not a thinking pig.
He's a fishing pig. But yeah, he'll just dive straight in, like from the side of the ship.
Yeah.
Man overboard!
You dive in. You don't warn anybody. You've done this before though, especially from the back of the ship. You have your little boat there as well, and so you grab a rope. Do you tie it around you at all, or do you just sort of like grab it and jump in?
Just like casually grab it. Like he doesn't think there's gonna be anything hostile. He's just checking up, kind of like a routine thing. He thinks it's a bit weird, but kind of like Tarzan style, but like just like he's kind of like dropping himself in, just so he could carry himself up after.
Okay. Yeah, and you dive in, and there's a big splash as you crash into the water. And as you do this, the captain kind of goes from the helm over to the back of the ship, and he kind of looks down and curses under his breath as you do this. And he calls out to you, Rowan. He goes, "Rowan, make sure that he doesn't drown out there."
Aye, Captain. I'll go monitor the rope, I guess. Try and hold it.
The captain, he kind of goes up to a couple of the other crew members, and they start actually raising the sails. The captain is constantly keeping an eye off the edge of the ship, And Trevor, you're next to one of these seagulls, Genementals. And you notice that they too are kind of a little bit curious. They're looking over the edge, trying to see what's going on.
I hate to be that guy, but what's going on?
I'm not too sure. Something in the water.
And so the one you were talking to is this sweet-looking seagull adorned with salt crystals. And they kind of peer off the side and go,
Help me listen.
and you see they kind of like take some of their salt crystals in hand and sort of focus on them a little bit. And then they kind of like look at you and go,
Focus.
Sure, yeah. I'll place my salt crystal inside the goop tom tom, and I'll try and focus on, my magical prowess through the symbiotic power of the goop.
Beautiful.
Should I roll an arcana of sorts?
Yes, please.
Arcana is not great, so that's an 11.
An 11? Okay, yeah. They're not doing too great either. They're kind of like trying to focus, and they're humming like a little tune, and you're sort of resonating with your goop tam tam. The other two seagulls, so they're kind of like these twins, kind of goes up and yanks the crystals out of their sibling's hand and goes, "You're doing it wrong." And he kind of starts humming and trying to focus as well.
You could be a little nicer about it, buddy.
And he just kind of like looks up at you and goes, "It's not working." Then the other one kind of goes,
Well, Uko, let's work. Let's do it together. The three of us can do it.
and he goes, "All right, fine." And so together, Brenia, you can redo your Arcana check with advantage.
Can I, using the power of my, telepathy, can I contact Rodney? And I'm like, Rod, what do you think about this salt crystal thing? What are they trying to do?
That like mental connection, you feel it kind of in waves throughout your body, and Rodney goes, "Hello, Master. You called."
Of course.
"I
been a little while.
feel a strange power, though it is quite small in comparison to what is beneath us."
Oh. So, you already know.
It is a familiar magic.
Fair enough. Perhaps something we should explore.
Yes, I'd like to see it closer.
I'll look around at Rowan. Rowan? Corbo's in the water, right?
Yes, he is. I tug on the rope, like I maybe not like a tug, but just like to make sure the tension is there.
Perfect. I'll kind of loop my bandolier against the rope, and I'll dive into the water as well.
Like, I guess double make sure that I'm paying attention to what's happening to this rope now.
We got a crew full of fish here.
Is it tied at the other end, like to the boat? Or was it loose? Borbo, maybe I'm asking you.
I think it's. I was supposed to be tied to the end of the boat.
I can roll to how well the knot is, maybe.
Well, I mean,
Not
since you offered.
That's part of the fun, you know?
Yeah, go.
Cool.
Yeah, give me a
What
little,
what would that be?
like
Sleight of
a
hand?
sleight of
or-
hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
-1.
I can hold my breath for 1 hour, by the way, as an ooze creature.
Solid 12.
You got a 12? Okay. I mean, it's a pretty standard sailing knot. You Rowan, you
Hold
think
on.
it's pretty well fastened. It probably could maybe use another loop or two. But
I
you're
think
there.
I take a second rope and I tie it to the rope and the mast again.
Okay.
Right? Just like a backup
Braid
rope.
knot.
Yeah. And so as
people requires 2 ropes.
Trevor, as you jump in, we're just going to go beneath the waves before you crash in. Borbo, you dived down into the water. You're swimming down there. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Actually, I would like to use my conch, my like little kind of shell. I believe I could still have enough breath. I believe to blow in it, even though I'm underwater. So I'd like to, yeah, I would like to play it. And now that it's kind of quieter underwater, I'm hoping to get like a better signal. I don't know if that's the right word, but a better response to the ocean.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay.
I'll play it. Yeah, just kind of like a one note thing, a one note whistle through the conch.
Sure. So you blow into it, and there's sort of this like echoing reverberation through the water that you can hear. This deep bassy sound coming from the conch, and the conch itself is magical in nature, so you don't actually have to kind of like blow into it. You're sort of just like focusing on it, and it's projecting sort of this magical note. And for a moment, it's very still and peaceful. You almost have like a sense of like echolocation where it's like, whoop, whoop, echoing out. And then you feel something tug against your feet. Can you please make a strength saving throw for me?
Oof,
Oh, I hate when seaweed tickles.
a strength saving throw. That would be, yeah. I think it'll be ease. 8 trolling.
An 8? Okay. Yeah, it's sort of, there's this binding sensation against your legs, whoosh, kind of pulls them closed together, and then you start getting dragged and pulled under the hull of the ship.
Oof.
Trevor, you crash into the water,
Yes, sir. Thank you,
and
sir.
you take a quick look around, and you see Borbo getting dragged. Now, depending on how long this rope is, Rowan, you start to see the rope pull as he is getting farther and farther.
Yeah, immediately I think I just shout, "Captain!" and I try to like haul him back. I'm trying to like stop it before it just snaps, like to the mast or whatever it's tied to. What would that be?
You can make the strength save as well, and yours will count for Borbo.
Okay. Let's do it. Roll good. Fuck. That's gonna be a 12.
A 12. A 12 is just enough. You grab it tight, and Borbo, you feel kind of this sensation of, if the rope is tied around your belly or kind of like around your shoulders or something, you get pulled in 2 directions at once as you're kind of struck taut underwater. And you slowly begin to feel yourself getting pulled up. Now, this is a very awkward situation. You're under the hull of the ship, being pulled in 2 different directions at once. You're going to slam up against the bottom of the hull, and now you're sort of being like dragged along the bottom of it. Trevor, you see this happening. As you call out to the captain, I am going to say that, can everyone please roll initiative?
I've missed those words. Okay, do I see any of this happening from above? Do I see like shadows in the water or like splashing about?
Make me another perception check.
Oh, okay, wait. Let me just count that roll first. That's an 18 for initiative. And what did you ask to roll?
Perception.
Perception. Ooh, nat 20.
Damn. Okay. So
Do
you'll
my
notice
eagle
two
eyes
things
see?
that I'll say right now. One, there are no shadows under the ship, but you do see across the divide where the fortress is a shadow in the water approaching.
Ooh. Captain! We got more trouble approaching from the other side.
What do you mean? What do you see?
A big old shadow from the other side of the fortress there. It's like on the surface or like in the waterfall?
It's like in the water. And you see it like coming between the two ships that make up the fortress.
It's between the two fortresses, sir.
Well, that can't be. Are you sure?
And these eyes don't lie, Captain.
Damn it. All right, everybody. Ready yourselves. And by gods, hold on to something. So yeah, everyone give me your initiatives.
How do you want to?
Tessella, you as well.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yes, please.
Oh,
I got 17.
9.
18.
18. Okay. Econ.
Trevor got a 19. I don't know if that's, it's a good
Okay.
time.
Borbo, did you say 17?
17,
Brent,
18.
you're holding up your fingers. What is that?
7.
Sorry, I'm very bad at multitasking. Okay, Borbo, I wrote you twice here. Oopsies.
That's right. He
Shy
can get 2 turns. 9. I rolled a 9.
and 9. Okay,
999. You know.
beautiful. All right, so immediately there are like ding 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 ding. Larry, the gung ho elf that tried swinging on some ropes and fell into the sea in the first episode. He's kind of ringing the bell, and everyone starts to get into positions. The Genementals from the fortress, they kind of procure these weapons that sort of form from their salt crystals. They kind of like merge them together, and they sort of shape in their hands into like tridents and spears and things like that. And they all kind of prop themselves onto the edge of the ship. The captain heads to the helm, and he begins kind of like spinning the wheel. And although the ship is stationary, it does begin to kind of like slowly turn. So at the top of the round is Trevor.
Do I see the whatever it is that's pulling on Borbo?
You cannot see it at all.
Then I will continue like sliding down the rope. Now I've strung my bandolier, so I'm imagining the rope is going like perfectly kind of through me. So like I'm like moving down like, through my torso.
Okay.
So like I'm not holding on to it with anything, but it's like it's in me.
Right. You're like sliding down it, kind of.
Yeah. So I'm just like kind of advancing. There's like I guess like little like slime like is like kind of like gripping on the thing as it's
Right. So
and
weird.
I'm moving down, and I of course have I have both Rodney and my powerang, my boomerang drawn.
Beautiful. Oh, and thank you, Sheriff. Everybody, we've been offered a beverage. Delicious.
Delicious. Can I get all the way to my friend Borbo?
Yeah, you can reach him.
And I still can't see anything pulling on him.
You cannot see anything at all. It's like you can see his legs are being pulled by something, but there's nothing there.
I'll communicate telepathically with Borbo. Are you okay? What's going on?
Am I able to respond? Because I'm like I don't know
believe
what's
you
my
can
state.
respond-
Am I
you can respond to me. It's a bonus action for me to form a connection with a creature that I can see within 60 feet of me, and then I think it's I can find the exact words, but where's my aberrant mind? Bonus action: choose a creature I can see within 30 feet. We can communicate if we are within 3 miles of each other. You could talk to me telepathically. I could talk to you.
This might be like a new sensation for you, Borbo, but I feel like this is something that kind of comes a little naturally. Like there's a voice in your head. You've, I think just sort of thinking of a response sort of gives the response, But let's just go ahead and see what was what were you just thinking about, Borbo, before right as the telepathic communication formed? What was like the last thing on your mind?
I was definitely thinking that it was some type of creature right away because I think it wasn't normal that the current kind of stopped, and I didn't think it was a natural cause or it was magic. So I think in his mind, his first guess was some type of squid or octopus.
Okay,
so that was his rough idea, and I think the fact that he got his legs snatched, I think that's his he's 80% sure that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah, so you as soon as you establish that connection, Trevor, you get like a flood of those thoughts from Borbo. But yeah, now you can communicate.
Okay. And I guess so that's my movement, my action. I can't do much else. I'll try and pull him as best as well, that's not really gonna work. You know what? I'll just in the direction of what's pulling his legs, I'm just going to shoot a sorcerous burst.
Okay.
So I just kind of hitting. If something's pulling him from there, I should hit it if it's an actual creature in disguise or whatever. So I just kind of blast that just past his legs.
Okay.
I'll just roll for shits and gigs.
Oh, it's an attack, spell attack.
Yeah, it's a 16.
16 to hit.
Yeah.
That hits.
Oh, okay. Then sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead and roll your damage. But you do notice Borbo's legs kind of immediately like as if something has released his legs.
Oh. Okay. I can choose the type of damage. We're underwater. I'm gonna say lightning. Actually,
It works.
Bacon.
Super effective.
Yeah. Exactly.
Lightning. Okay.
I support this. This is great.
I'm fine with that.
Anyone want some fried fish?
Exactly right.
Does it see the black and white outline of the thing that's
It's
getting
9
electrocuted?
points of damage.
I think a little bit of Borbo. You see a bit of his skeleton too, just from being connected.
Comedically.
So yeah, 9 points of damage, and yeah, I'll try and just hold on to him, and that's it.
Okay. And I'm just going to say, by consequence, casting a lightning spell in water, that Borbo will take a little bit of the damage. So half the damage, I'll say, the Borbo you take. So you'll take 4 lightning damage.
My mistake, Borbo. You feel in your mind.
I think he got my. Oh well, the accent was trash. Shit. Almost a pirate accent.
Breaking the fourth wall.
I think she got my leg.
Well, who? She?
That's my lisp. Oh, sorry. But no, but he basically said that. Yeah, I think his legs being dragged. I don't know. Can I sense a release of tension after the impact of the lightning?
Yeah, your legs have come undone.
You're
I
free.
think Burb will want to turn around the first thing instead of running. Like he just wants to see what it was. I think he'd be more curious than anything. Like he's not like gonna die or anything. I don't think he's that worried.
Yeah. So I will just say that you are sort of being forcefully pulled out of the water.
Okay.
So you are kind of like with, moving in the opposite direction. You can kind of fight against it if you want. And Rowan, you would feel that.
Rowan's just drown. Just like
He's trying to get
I
you
think
out.
Borwood just wants to get a look. I think like if he turns around like at that moment, would he be able to get a rough idea? Especially with the lightning, I'm assuming it brightened up like this ocean.
Did whatever I hit have like a skeletal outline kind of thing?
There was no skeleton. Literally, just there was kind of like a flash of light. I will say though that like maybe not a skeleton, but there was kind of like a strange, almost like tentacle-looking outline of something that had released his legs.
Okay.
But as soon as the flash dissipated, it
was
disappeared
gone.
again.
It must have some sort of camouflage. Rodney, did you get a good look at it? Can we say that perhaps like Rodney can like cut in on my telepathic like?
Oh, he can
communication?
like talk too, like and just join
Yeah.
the conversation.
Like if I'm connected with one person, he has access to that.
Yes, you're so close now, Trevor. Just there. Can Rodney actually see, or is he only like really?
I think he can see through our like maybe he sees through my eyes.
Okay,
Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah. He's there, beneath the hull. There is something there. I can feel it.
Orpo? It's there. I don't know what else we could do. Can I roll perception check?
That's your turn, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So after you, it is Ika.
Yeah.
So we're back up to the top of the ship.
Yeehaw. A little top. She'd like to yell out to the captain. Captain, any idea what we're facing? Creature, plant?
Honestly, out here, there shouldn't be nothing. But if what's happened to us is what I think it is, we're probably being set on by elementals.
Does that count as a beast if I were to use locate animals or plants?
No,
No?
not at all. No.
Gotcha. All right.
I think when he does mention elementals, you notice a few of the Genementals kind of on the edge of the ship. They kind of like look out at him, and one of them goes, "That's impossible! It can't be. We performed the ritual." He goes, "Well, you did something wrong." And yeah, go ahead.
And how far is the fortress from the ship right now?
You guys are about halfway across the divide, so I'd say like another 500 feet.
Ooh, okay, never mind. In that case, I wonder how far I can throw an arrow at. This is my first time being a ranger, so 320 feet. Is that roughly where that spot in the water is?
Oh, the spot in the water is it's on
It's
the
like
other
500
side
feet.
of the divide, so it's even farther than the.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. All right. Well, she's just she's gonna go hop on down and go help Rowan with pulling up the friends. And as she does that, she's going to cast jump on herself. Oh, actually, I'll use a level 2 slot so that me and Rowan can both have an additional jump. Or sorry, an additional 30 feet of jump.
Okay.
So yeah. And I'll grab the rope with him and let me give her your hand there, buddy.
All right.
Good job.
So at this point, there's no more. It's not a saving throw anymore because Borbo's not being pulled in the opposite direction. So the two of you can now use athletic checks to pull him out. So Ika, it's your turn. You can make an athletics check if you'd like.
19.
That's great. Yeah. So Borbo, you start getting pulled back up towards the surface of the water.
Come on up, Guppy.
Oh my god.
I like allow myself to go through, like even Borbo. I like.
Oh.
You're like so thin, like all around the around his whole form.
Just a
Just
thin
ass.
membrane.
Just around his waist.
Borbo's like, I'm covered in ooze.
Trevor Boom armor?
Yo.
Covered in goop, daddy.
Gotta put on the goop suit.
Mm-hmm. But I will want to like be like I'm gonna wait until we're pulled close so I can like kind of like stick myself to the hull.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say one more pull will bring Borbo out of the water, but it is Borbo's turn. So, what do you do?
So yeah, I think I would just basically like get up as well. Like I'll assist them assisting me. So as soon as I have like leverage, I'll just climb up. And definitely I'd communicate to the party that I think it's some type of crazy octopus or something.
Okay, so it would, like you breach the water, like you swim up the rest of the way.
Oh, they're still pulling me. I thought I submerged.
Yeah, I thought he
I
was
would
being
swim
pulled
up. I would swim up.
Okay. Yeah, so you breach the water and you can take your turn.
Yeah, so I definitely want to climb up. Do I have enough movement? I don't know how deep I was.
No, you swam the rest of the way to the top, so now you're just like on the surface of the water.
Guys, it seems to be an octopus. I'm talking to Trevor because he was like the one closest to me.
I'm still underwater.
Oh, really? Okay. So then I'll just communicate to
It's okay.
whoever's
It's okay.
on top.
Yeah, I mean Rowan and Ika are there. They can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, I'm letting them know that basically it's some type of octopus or some type of sea creature. And mentioning that my leg got snatched.
Rowan's just like, what? And he was totally distracted by Ika getting a 19 on athletics, and Borbo bursting from the water as a result. That's a strong mouse.
If an octopus can snatch out Borbo, I don't want to even think about how big that octopus is.
Guys, what should we do? Should we kill it?
Can we sail faster? Can we perhaps put magic in the sails?
I think I would communicate to the captain. I think he would have the most experience. So I kind of scream out, Captain!
That was a bit of Neslin in there.
That was the wrong captain. I'm so
Rip.
sorry.
Tell
But
you.
yeah, I call it the captain, basically letting him know, Mr. Clipper.
Pour one out.
Yeah. Borbo, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
What is it? What's down there?
I think there's an octopus.
An octopus.
Is it tuna? Is there tuna down there?
Roll for history.
The captain, he's trying something. The ship is kind of like slowly turning, but it is still stuck in place. So if that's your turn, Borbo, I'm going to pass it over to Sela. So we're across the divide. You are flying towards the fortress. You're just above it at this point. And you hear the bell ringing in the distance of the ship, and you see it kind of slowly turning in place. It's stopped. The sails have been raised. And there's a bit of commotion on one of the ships that you're flying over. You hear that there's kind of like this cascading effect of bells and ringing of like almost like chimes that they have on these ships in signal of some kind of warning. And you do see a shadow kind of approaching the fortress from below the water.
And this is behind me as I'm going toward the fortress, or like I'm just seeing it around me? Like
No. It came from behind you. Basically, it came from like you presume from the island.
We're going toward the fortress still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to. I don't know if I can go into maximum overdrive, but I want to get to the fortress, and if I can try to do that, and if while doing that I don't have the speed I need to know, because I'll just start shooting things into the water to hope to. This is a very scary shadow.
Mm-hmm.
I will shoot things.
Okay. Yeah. So you can dash to give yourself more movement on your turn. I'm going to say that you're effectively at one of the ships, but these are very, very large ships. So like flying all the way across it will take some time. You're also separate from the rest of the group at the moment. So I'm going to say that the continuity here is like a little bit disjointed. You can travel sort of without needing to the nitty gritty. So yeah, you start booking it, flying off towards the fortress. If you do want to cast spells or throw things out at into the water, what do you have available to try and do that?
How far down? Can I tell how deep it is?
Yep. I mean, you're out in the ocean.
I know that.
Yeah, it could be very, very deep.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna give it a shot. I have lightning lure, so if it's only 15 feet in radius, so if I can shoot that down just to see, and if that doesn't work, I'll try something else as I'm dashing. But yeah, I'll do that first just to see, because I'm not gonna do shocking grasp. That'd be ridiculous. So.
What do you mean?
Yeah, just have my fire lightning bug dive into the ocean. That'd be incredible, honestly. That'd probably be the most brave yet idiotic thing I've ever made my character do. Dive, character, into the ocean with a kraken, essentially. I would be terrified for myself and my character.
Into the river below.
Yeah, so lightning lure, I mean, I'll have her cast it while she's flying.
Is that like a saving throw or
a save strength 10?
Okay. So yeah, you launch it out into the water. You see it kind of crash against the surface, and there's a little bit of like a dissipation of the electric energy as it as it kind of extends outwards, and the shadow is kind of like moving, so like you're throwing it towards the shadow, and you see that where the electricity hits the surface of the water, there's kind of like this tentacle that lurches upwards and then like almost like kind of explodes. It's just like this thing of water, and it just kind of just rains down from where it got struck, but the shadow itself is still moving towards the fortress.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I mean, it's just ominous and terrifying, and I mean, the fortress is where she was heading anyway. So she wants to go and warn whoever she can warn, who's there. I mean, I can catch Witch's Bolt into the water and straight down and hope for the best.
You're gonna dive?
No, Witch Bolt is 60
Oh,
feet.
Witch Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to shocking grasp. I really don't. I really think that's such a terrifying idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
So yeah, I'll do Witch Bolt. Hit DC. Give me something good. 14.
14.
Yeah.
And you're just shooting it down at the shadow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a similar thing happens. You see where you're striking the water above the shadow. There's these kind of like lurching tentacles of water that kind of reach upwards, and the electric energy of the witch bolt is coursing through it, and they kind of just like explode as they breach the surface of the water.
Damn it, stupid fucking water beast thing. Okay. Yeah, so if that's the case, I think, and this is on, like, she's still flying over a ship, or probably not at this point. She's already dashed past it toward the fortress.
Well, so do you want to go to one of the ships, or do you want to fly past it and go out over to the divide where where the ship with everyone else is on? It's up to you.
I guess if I could pass the divide, because she would have seen them doing all of the actions, like all of the things to try and attack and see it before she saw the shadow like creep up on her. I guess so. She'd probably bridge the gap to see if other brave beings would assist her in either stopping or warning the fortress of said beast. So.
Okay. Yeah. No. So then you can continue your way there, and I'll say that at the start of your next turn, you will be arriving at the ship. Now, this does take a little bit of time. Is there anything you want to prepare for your next turn?
Not that there's anything I can prepare. Everything I have is actually yes. I'm gonna get thaumaturgy ready and have like just make her voice absolutely loud, and ready to talk to everybody when she is near/on the ship.
Okay, beautiful.
That won't be intimidating.
Not at all.
You'll hear her before you see her approach.
The gods are mad at us.
Everything's ending. Jump into the water.
So you have that prepared for your next round, for your next turn. After you, we are back to the ship with Rowan and back to sort of the regular combat flow. So, Rowan, what do you do?
I mean, I have a question, which is, there's this lightning bug flying full speed at the ships, arriving next turn. Do the big glowing badonkadonk. Round attack from all sides, Captain. And there's also the shadow coming. We don't know what's under the ship potentially. The ship's kind of turning right now, and I think Rowan is, shall we say, overstimulated. He's going to cast. What's the distance from the deck of the ship, like into the water at the base of the ship?
That's a good question. So what do you want to do? I'll just, I don't want to be too picky about distances and ranges and stuff like that.
It just depends what spell. So basically, I'm of two minds, right? I'm a Genemental of two paths. Part of me is like, he looks over the side of the ship, and if he can't see anything, which I think he doesn't, right? I think we've established that if it is a water elemental, we can't really see it. He's going to turn to the sail, and I think what I'm going to do is cast a wind spell in that case, to try and get the ship moving again. And basically, I'm trying to like push it along.
Okay.
So I think Rowan would know, but I would need the DM's approval. I have two different spells. One is like like thunderclap, kind of like a pushing kind of motion with air.
Mhm.
The other one is to create an air sphere, which I feel like would be more. It's a higher level spell, so it's also more resource intensive, which makes me think it's stronger. But that would be like I'm almost trying to create a wind bubble to like push it forward.
Okay.
Would that work?
I think you're right about the higher level spell being stronger. So I think in either case, you could you can try to do what you're trying to achieve with either of the two spells. But you do know that the sails have been sort of like pulled up to like half mast. So the effectiveness of this, you're not 100% sure if it's gonna really work. I'm gonna leave you to choose which spell you use. In either case, you can use either one. It doesn't. I think both are fine in this instance.
Okay, then I think what I'm going to do is use my limited flying speed to fly up and prepare for the incoming flying enemy, and I will cast the. I can act. I'm just like realizing that maybe I can upcast Thunderclap. Can you do that? No, it's a cantrip. Okay, cool. Yeah, so then I'm going to upcast, or I'm going to level Dust Devil, which basically I choose an occupied foot, 5-foot cube, and I create a sphere of air in that cube, trying to fill the sail, this half-mast sail, with air to try and get the ship moving again.
Okay.
In my turn, I think like holding onto the mast up there, or like a piece of rigging or something.
Okay. Yeah. So you cast the spell, and it fills the sail with air. And you see that the ship had already sort of been spinning slowly because of the captain spinning the wheel. And you kind of like, you feel the ship kind of do this lurching motion as the sail suddenly fills, and it begins to spin a little bit faster. But it's almost like the ship is kind of like anchored in place in the water. And so like it starts to spin a little faster, but it's not really like, even though there should be some forward momentum, something is kind of keeping it in place. So the ship itself starts to move a little bit faster, and some people are like, oh, they're kind of like holding on as the ship kind of like starts to go. And I'll even say that it almost does like a full rotation and comes back to facing towards the fortress again.
But yeah, so as that's happening and it's rotating, I'm like shouting down to the crew and just be like, "We have to break the anchor!" and it's like trying to aim it. As, "I'll provide the momentum. Someone break the chain."
Beautiful. And is that your turn?
That's my turn. And I that gem glowing. Do we have like colors for the elements in Geneset Rising? What's the color of wind? Is it like green?
Wind is like it's kind of like this like pale. It can be like yellow or pink. It's not green. Earth is green.
Earth is green. All right, then this is like a yellowish, glowing light emanating from my gem as I use magic, and I start to bump myself towards one of my elements.
Very cool. And so the ship begins to spin. The captain goes, "You heard him! Find where those elementals are and destroy them!" And the Genementals start, they kind of like launching these spears, these salt spears out into the water. And as they start doing that, all of a sudden these tentacles of water begin to reach out over the edge of the ship. Two of them crash down, and the entire deck gets kind of like half flooded. Doesn't knock anyone overboard, but then from the water that's on the ship, they begin to like rise up into these vaguely humanoid shapes, as 6 of these forms kind of like form on the deck, and there are 4 of these tentacles kind of reaching up around the edge of the ship. So there are 6. We'll call them minor water elementals and 4 water tentacles. And we're back up to the start of the round. The captain kind of, he continues to spin the wheel, he kind of like stops it in place, and he goes, "Rowan, keep that up. And you, Larry, bring down the entire sail. And he kind of goes and the whole thing opens up again. And you see the ship. It wants to move forward, but it can't really. There's something holding it in place still. And that's how we'll start the top of the round. Back up with Trevor.
Is there so Trevor, I'm still underwater. I'm like attached to the hull of the ship.
Mhm.
Do I notice the tentacles come up around me?
Are you under the water?
Yeah. I never came up.
Okay, yeah, no. So you can't. Well, you might see some like disturbance on the surface of the water, but it's you can't really. I guess make a perception check.
Sure. I'll ask Rodney, like, Rodney, you can sense them. Can you help me? Point it out to me, the creature, the source of these tentacles. So I'm gonna see if he'll be able to help me at all. My perception is skills.
Do a little roll for him too.
+3 to 18.
Okay.
Total.
And so his voice is just sort of reverberating through you, and he goes, "Just a little bit further to the front of the ship, Trevor. Get to the front of the ship."
Okay, so I'll move to the front for sure.
Okay.
Climbing along towards the front until I can. I have to be able to kind of like see or make out something.
Mhm. As you make your way there, you do notice something sort of attached to the front of the bottom of the hull, sort of like towards the front of the ship. And it looks like almost like a little starfish kind of stuck on the bottom of the hull.
Not suspicious.
Yeah, I'll reach out and I'll grab it.
Okay. You reach out to grab it, and you feel kind of this repelling force. You can't see anything there, but the starfish has something surrounding it. And it feels kind of like there's like a pressure in the water, or even like a current that is sort of blocking you. So you can try and push through it, kind of overpower it, or if you have something else you want to try.
It looks like a living creature, or it looks like just like it looks like an actual starfish.
It looks like a stone starfish. It's kind of not. It's not really. I mean, I guess kind of some starfish do sort of look like that. It's not wriggling or anything. It's kind of just like in place, and it has this like weird, almost like not really a honeycomb like pattern in the center of it, but it's like almost like a hive like type. There's like a bunch of little holes at the center of it.
My trypophobia.
Yeah, it's given trypophobia.
Okay. I don't want to try and force past it because that's not going to go too good for me. Personally. Fuck. Let me try and I'll cast Arms of Hadar. And well, I want to use the arms to try and like pry it off the ship without touching it.
Interesting. Okay.
Just because I'm not strong. And I know I'm not strong. I'm not going to be able to force through it. So I want to see if through the powers of my mind and my psionic abilities, I'm able to like tear it off.
Mhm.
So it makes they have to make strength. It has to make a strength saving throw, I guess.
Okay.
Is how it works. It has to beat my strength saving throw. I believe it's a 15 for my. Yeah.
Okay.
No, sorry, 14.
Yeah. Can you describe how you cast the spell and what it looks like?
Basically, I'm just like kind of like focusing. I like shove Rodney out, and from Rodney, kind of these like psionic like tentacles themselves come and they like trying to wrap themselves around and pry the little starfish off of the hull.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
So the psionic tentacles, you see, they reach out towards the starfish, and then
Mhm.
like you see physically like where they're kind of wrapping around this invisible force, this current of water that is creating like a shield around this starfish, and they begin to squeeze down.
Technically,
and-
it takes damage whether it succeeds or not. Half damage if it fails. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So then you just see it like, and all of a sudden there's kind of like a break in that resistance as it kind of wraps around it. The starfish is really tiny. So it's like being completely covered, smothered by these tentacles. What's the damage?
The damage is 2d6, which is 8. Technically, 8 necrotic damage. And if I can, once I notice it kind of collapse, I'll try and grab the starfish.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So it crushes down on it, and when they release, the starfish kind of like pops off the hull of the ship.
Ha! Try and grab it and put it in me.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Beautiful. Okay. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I think that's my turn.
Yeah.
I think that's
And you're
enough.
left with just one thing as Rodney speaks through your mind. He goes, yes, yes, yes. Now get them all. And you kind of look up and you see all along the front leading up the hull of the ship, there's like a bunch of these little starfish suctioned onto it.
Is he just trolling him to clean up like barn?
Moving
Clean the
forward, each creature in a 10-foot originating from me
Mhm.
takes that 2d6 damage if they fail.
Oh, so it like stays around you?
Yes.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Better roll for those starfish.
Yeah. And I should have done this at the top of the round, but let's take a quick little bio break before it gets too late. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeehaw.